Hello there, it's your girl Daphne back with another video. This time I'm bringing you a compilation of all of my 2021 outside motivation. So I hope that you enjoy. Let's get started. So we're going to get started from right to left, and that's Cora Bell, or also known as hookah, thyme, and mint. And in the planters back here, this is autumn, joy, sedum on the two outer ends. That's a daylily in the middle. And this one here on the left is also an autumn, joy, sedum. I'm not sure if it's going to make it. Then over in this side garden, which I've shown a couple of times, that's the hydrangea that I cut back in the fall. I also went back in a little while ago because of the buds, and I just cleaned it and thinned it out of the middle. The back is ornamental grass, and this plant is a daylily. You'll see in a lot of the flower beds that I did not do all of my cleaning yet. So by the end of this video, you'll see I'll clean up all of this hosta that had died back over the winter. And so that's all hosta across the rock wall. And as we continue down, this is ground cover that I planted when we first moved in. I cannot remember what type of ground cover it is, but it is pretty. It has a purple flower. Here is more daylilies. Comes out really pretty. My dad actually put those in. He transplanting them from another area. More daylilies here as well, and the hosta around it I will be cleaning up. There's creeping Jenny or creeping Charlie. I'm not sure which one that is. I think it's creeping Jenny. That also is all along the rock wall. I tried to do some cuttings of a sand cherry. So I'm going to see if they took hold in a little while. So we have three evergreens that are planted here on the right side up against the fence. And we have the rock wall that continues down. That also has the creeping Jenny. I did pine straw last year as ground cover. I think I'm going to continue that. I'm just going to be doing a lot of cleaning throughout. This plant was transplanted from the front walkway. I have to trim it down. That is a cypress, golden cypress, also known as a mophead. It needs to be thinned out. There's a lot of like dead branches in the back there, which I will be taking care of. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Daphne, and I just want to welcome you if you're new to my channel, and welcome back to all my loyal subscribers. Another evergreen we transplanted from another spot. It's grown so much since we transplanted it. It's probably been in that spot about 5 years. And as you can see, I have a lot of cleaning that I need to do. This is a really huge tree there. Those are all roots, and you see the pine straw and also the acorns. This little section you're going to see in the end of the video, I have removed all of the leaves, and it's just bare soil ready to be mulched. Also, if you look, this is a daylily there that's popping up, and that's a sand cherry. If you look in the far back at the fencing, you're going to see we're going to replace that with a little mesh fencing. You'll see it in the final shots of this area. My neighbor's yard is a much higher elevation, so we have to get like some type of barrier to hold back their soil and ours, and also keep any like pets or any type of animals that might be out at night from going from yard to yard. So on this side over here, I'm also going to be mulching. I'm cleaning all of this out, so you'll see in the end of the video this side will be clean as well. We have coral bell there, 2 of them, and we have a sand cherry This is a holly bush, and we also have the creeping Jenny throughout this bed and the previous bed as well. The patio cover will be removed, that blue over there, and it's just going to look a lot fresher. It will not be mulched, but at least it'll be clean. And the next section, this is just a really big evergreen tree that I'm showing you. We had so many pine straw droppings from this tree. It is humongous. I think that it probably is as old as the house. I'm not sure. When we first moved here, this was all covered in ivy. And on my neighbor's side, they still have ivy along the fence line. So it keeps coming and crawling and making its way through the fencing. So what I usually do is cut all of that back. Unfortunately, because they have the ivy on their side, it's going to continue to come back, but we do our part. So all of this will be cleaned up. There is a million acorns all over. There's weeds. We're going to pull out that, and we're just going to clean it up. This little area back here, we're going to do cleaning. This grass is cut down. I didn't get an image of it, but we did cut it down. So the next time that you see the backyard, it will be hopefully greening up. In this little section, that is a daylily there next to the ornamental grass. There's also another flower there, which is a purple flower, which I do not know the name of. This is just a box that we have like gravel in. I have to spray it to get rid of the weeds. And then this is how the patio is looking while we're working. I did a lot of raking of acorns the other day, so those are the 2 bags that were on the patio. And this is just a closer image of what the grass looks like with all of the acorns down. I'm going to be doing a lot of raking, a lot of blowing, still a lot of cleaning, and we're going to try to get this yard into shape. We have 2 planters over there, which I'm going to plant with flowers. We actually built that a couple of years ago, probably like 8 years ago. As you can see, the animals wreak havoc on our yard throughout the winter. So we have to make sure that we get all of the acorns off, all of the debris off, and then I'm going to be fertilizing. So on my channel, I do all things homemaking, and this time of year I like to be outside a lot because over this past year I started doing gardening and I started doing my own lawn maintenance. So I learned a lot over this past year. So you're going to see me doing gardening tours and also lots of other videos outside. So these are the same areas that we just looked at. I just cleaned up all of the dead plants, the hostas that were along the wall, the hostas that were there, and also you'll see in the back I've cleaned out the areas, the flower bed areas. So I took out all of the debris and now it's just ready for mulch, this side and also on the other side. And also, as I mentioned, we put up this mesh fencing to be able to keep the animals from going from my neighbor's yard to ours. And I just cleaned up this area and it's going to be ready for mulch, which we'll be doing in the next week or so. Okay, so next up is just a mini haul from Joann. And what I did was I picked up some florals that I'm going to be using for summer. So the first is this dried yellow flowers. I also got some sunflowers, and I also got, I think these might be Delilah's, I'm not sure. It didn't have a tag on it, but I just thought that it's so pretty and it goes really nicely with the sunflowers, so I picked it up. Next up, I got some spring items. This is a Hop to It flag that I'm going to be using for next year. I got 2 hand towels for the kitchen. They're so pretty. Everything was 70% off. And the last item that I got for spring is these Hello Spring. They're reusable Ziploc bags, so I can use this anytime. And it was $12.99 with 70% off, so I thought it was a great deal. Next up, I got 3 matte paints. I got, this is a light beige, the next one is khaki, and the third one is coffee bean. These paints, because they're matte, it's just going to look really nice with some of the projects that I'm going to be doing. So the next thing is I got some Cricut vinyl. So I got 3 vinyls and 1 transfer tape. I got 2 blacks, one that was just a permanent vinyl, and then the other one is a iron-on, and then I got a navy iron-on as well. So these will be used in a couple of projects that I'm going to be working on in the near future. Now these items I purchased from Joann, but Cricut has an amazing sale that they're running right now, and I will have links in my description so you can visit the website and check out. They have machines that are on sale and also all of their accessories, so take advantage of this amazing sale. Now next up is a couple of wood items that I purchased. These are just wooden wheels. I'm going to be using them in a lot of different ways. I'll probably be making a little beaded garland with them, and also working with a pedestal, which these round shapes here, I probably will use some of those and just turn it into a pedestal. It's going to look really nice. I probably will use the paint that I purchased, one of the brown colors or beige colors, and I'll make it look really pretty. Now I always use yarn with all of my DIYs in the season, so I'm going to be doing sunflowers. So I picked up these 2 colors, and I think that it will really look nice with a lot of the other sunflower items that I purchase. Now each season I always purchase different types of fabric. So this fabric that's here actually is little black checks, and it has little sunflowers on it. So that's going to be working into my theme. Now what I think for summer is I'm going to be doing different themes based on the rooms. So the next fabric that I picked up, it has little cupcakes and little sweets, and it's pink and white. And these are all 18 by 21 inch squares. And the third is black and white pineapples. So I think that will coordinate very well, but it'll be a different theme. And I have to figure out which rooms I'm going to be using each of them in. And the last thing is a French Parisian print, which has like all of the different desserts on it. And this item is duck canvas, and it's navy, and I'm actually going to be doing a DIY in a couple of minutes, so you'll be able to see me use that. And the last thing is a medium tote, which I'm going to be using as a blank for one of my upcoming Cricut projects. So I'm sure all of these items will be used in the near future, and the duck canvas is being used right now. So we're moving on over to the upholstery, and I'm just cleaning off this table. I usually reupholster the centerpiece each year. Now previously I usually use a staple gun, but I decided this year that I'm going to just use my glue gun, since when I upholstered my nightstand last month, I used my glue gun and it turned out really good. If you have not seen that video, I will link it in the card so you can go back and take a look at it. It was really a nice project to be able to do. So as you see, I was able to get all of the fabric off. You can see that it's sunburned and discolored. So I'm just going in and I'm wiping off the wood front and back, and then I'm going to be cutting out the fabric. I'm going to be leaving about an inch around the board itself, so that when I fold it back, I'll have that clearance. So I hope everyone is really enjoying this video. I tried to put a lot of amazing videos all together so that you can have one video to click on and enjoy. I added videos which had a mixture of a lot of content. You have a lot of outdoor cleaning motivation, along with 2 decorating patio videos, about 6 DIYs, and all the cleaning motivation that you could imagine. Now what I usually do is just go into the corners and I try to fold it in and make it as tight as possible, and then I just go in and I just glue along the edge, and I'm pulling the fabric taut as I go so that when you turn it over it's nice and flat. So you're just going to see me going around doing the same throughout this board. You always want to make sure that your corners are as tight as possible, so I try to do the opposite ends of each corner at the same, well, right after each other, so that I'm pulling it taut. So we're almost finished. I'm just going into this center hole where the umbrella stand usually comes through, and I'm using my seam ripper and I'm just doing like little, I have like a little X, and then I'm going in and doing multiple cuts in between so that when I pull it back I can make sure that it's nice and tight, and I'm just putting a little dab of glue. And here's the finished product. I just staged it. I put a couple of placemats down, and we will be enjoying it this summer. I'm sure you'll be able to see a little more in videos to come where I will be making over the patio, but for now this is it. Hope you enjoy. Now if you remember from my garden tour, I was going to be cleaning this entire side, and this all has pine straw here, and there's a lot of acorns that have fallen from the fall. So I'm just going to be cleaning this up. I'm going to be taking up most of the pine straw, and then I'm going to be putting down a fresh layer. So it really feels good to be able to get this cleaned up in my landscape. It's one of the bigger projects that I needed to do, and I had to place an order for the pine straw, which I'm going to be replenishing. Now the pine straw is going to be in the 2 sides, so it's going to be all the way from the bottom side all the way up to the 2 trees that are in the back, and the little planters with the flowers is going to have brown mulch. So it's going to be a combination of pine straw and brown mulch. So what I'm going to be doing next is doing a early spring fertilization of the yard. So I just use the early spring Scott seasonal program, and I put that down based on the instructions on the bag, and it also has a weed preventer as well. So right after this we're going to move on over to the patio. So this is how we're looking on the patio, a complete disaster zone. So we're going to be starting the transformation today, and it's going to start with simple cleanup. So this is how it's looking, and now we'll get started. Before we get started, I wanted to show you a couple of items that I purchased. This I got at HomeSense. It is humongous, and I got it for $20. And I picked up 2 rugs. They're both indoor and outdoor rugs. It's a 5x7, I believe. And I got that from the Christmas Place store. Or actually, I always say it wrong. It's the Christmas tree shop. And I also got a 7-inch umbrella as well. That is going to go on this table. In case you're wondering what those little wood strips are, it's for an upcoming DIY that I'm working on. It's going to be a planter. So it should be my Friday video, so you'll be able to see exactly what I created. So in this video, we're getting all of the cleaning done. And then in my next video, I'm going to be doing the decorating of the patio itself. So there's a lot of cleaning that needed to be done. And I'm also going to be doing the power washing, which is a huge project in itself. So let me know if you guys have any projects in your backyard that you've been planning, and what you're going to be doing. Is it going to be, putting in new flowers? Is it going to be taking out some bushes? Is it putting in a new lawn? I'm really curious to see what everyone is doing. So leave me a comment down below. So I just wanted to say that box has been on my patio since last fall. I got that new mower and then I've just been putting things inside of it. Well, lo and behold, when I pulled it back, there is a huge worm that has been growing underneath there. It was like smashed at one end. I don't know what was going on with it, but I don't think it was happy that its home was unearthed. So just in case you were wondering, I picked up the worm and I put it in the garden bed in the back, so it has a nice new upgraded home. Okay, so we got a lot done. We did all of the sweeping. The whole patio is clean. So my next step is going to be power washing, but unfortunately it is raining. We're getting ready to get a big storm, so this is as much as I'll be able to get done today. So part 2 will be tomorrow. Okay, so it is the next day. I'm getting started. I'm using this Greenworks cold water pressure washer. So I'm just getting started with putting all the soap down. So I'm using the black tip, which is a soap tip on this particular power washer. And I'm going to be going in sections. So I'm going to be putting down the soap and I'm going to let it set for, a minute or so before I start doing the power washing. So I'm curious because I watch a lot of YouTube videos myself, and right now I've been watching a lot of patio and gardening videos, and my favorite thing is to watch other people do power washing. It's something, I don't know if it's like mesmerizing to see the dirty grime and then to see the power washer just like get it totally clean. I don't know, I really enjoy it. So if this is something that you enjoy as well, leave me a comment down below. So we got this power washer last year and I did not power wash this patio. So it has so much built up allergy and grime on it because I know that the previous owners have never power washed before. So this patio really, really needed a good washing. Okay, so we're almost finished. I've moved over to the other side of the patio. So after I finish with using the pressure washer, all of the grime that you blew off of all of the pavers is still on the patio. So what I do is come back with soapy water and I use a broom and I just sweep all of the dirty water off. And then I also go back with a clean water hose and I just try to loosen it up as well. And then after you finish, it's amazing. It's clean, it's clear, and it looks, like they're brand new. Now, just in case you're wondering, my patio does have two colored paver stones. So this is not like an illusion, or it's not that they're still dirty in some areas. It's that they did a random pattern with two different types of stones. So as I said, this is just part one. I will be coming back with a full decorating video, and I hope that you'll be able to come back and enjoy that one as well. Okay guys, so today is the day we're going to get started on the decorating of the patio. So we're going to get started, we're going to clear off the patio and we're going to get decorating. I just want to say welcome to everyone. If you're new and just clicked on my video for the first time today, I want to say welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I really appreciate everyone for watching my video and I hope you enjoy. Guys, I am in love with these rugs. I purchased them at the Christmas tree shop and I mentioned in part 1 that they were $29.99 and they're roughly about a 5'7", and I think that they fit the space perfectly. I didn't want too large of a rug because I still wanted to be able to see the beautiful pattern of the pavers, especially since I spent so much time power washing them. So now I'm just going to be putting all of the furniture, all the chairs back on the patio, and then we're going to go from there. I'm going to have a quick break and I'm going to head inside and we're going to be working on a Cricut project. Okay, so we're taking a quick break from the patio to just come in and create 2 quick projects that I'm going to use on the patio. The first one is going to be using these 3 vases. I'm going to be putting little cute decals on them. One is a radish, one is a shovel, and one is a plant. I'm going to be using everyday vinyl, which is a really easy material to be able to work with, especially if you're a beginner like I am. And I also need the transfer sheet. I'm going to be using a lightweight grip mat. I'm going to walk you through the full process. It is extremely easy. This is actually only my second project that I've done and it's very easy. Cricut makes it very easy for beginners to get their feet wet and to learn as they go. Okay, so we are in Design Spaces and I picked very simple images. Just 1 layer and cut only. So we're going to go to Make It and we're going to see how they would arrange it on the mat to make it. Okay, so what I need to do is cancel this, come back here and do color sync so that I can have them all on the same mat. So I'm just dragging them up top, so that will allow me to use 1 cut. And hopefully it will put it all on 1 mat, okay? So now it's all on 1 mat. And the dimension that I need to cut my paper is roughly 3 by 6 to be able to get the best utilization. I think I might go back and make an adjustment on the radish. So we'll just go back, we'll cancel that. We're just gonna make the radish a little smaller of an image because it's so big. And I think, yeah, it keeps all of that information there. So now we'll just go and make it. And now it's saying that I need 2.5 by 6. So I'm gonna prepare that mat. So what I did was I just cut the vinyl out to the dimensions that was listed in the program, which was 2.5 by 6, and I applied it in the top corner of the mat. And that is it. You just put it in, you press load. It really like walks you through the step. You hit load, then the machine pops on with a little cricut sign, and that's just the start button. It feeds it in and it cuts your project out. And then the next step is weeding. So you just use your little weeding tool and you pull off all of the material that is excess to your pattern. Once you're finished weeding, then you just cut out the same dimension of a transfer sheet and you just stick it down, sticky side down on the material, and then you just transfer the weeded portion from that paper to the transfer sheet. And the transfer sheet is clear, it has grid lines on it, so it's going to make it really easy for you to be able to line up on your blank. In this case, my blank is a vase, so I've already prepared it. I've used a little alcohol to make the surface easy to have the transfer. And then I'm just using one of these little scrapers to be able to stick the decal down. And then once you have it all like scraped down and flat, then you're just going to pull off the transfer sheet and your project is finished. And my second project is going to be an iron-on project. So I went to Design Space and I selected the image, and I also did some freehand typing because I wanted to do Daphne's Homescape and I wanted to say hello. So you go through the same process, you size it to the dimensions that you want, and in this case, because it's an iron-on, you hit the button as mirrored. Because when you do the transfer, because it's going to be ironed on, it needs to be the reverse. So I've already done the weeding. I have my little transfer there. As you can see, it's reverse. I'm going to be using the Easy Press mat. I have a cotton canvas, which is my blank, and then we're also using the Easy Press. So I've already checked the correct temperature that I should be using for the cotton vinyl, which is 340 degrees. I'm prepping my surface. So whenever you do a new project, you just want to make sure that it's really flat. So I just use the heat press for about 15 seconds on just the canvas bag. Now I'm going in and I'm placing my decal. And as you can see, it's right side now because the sticky side is down because that's what's going to be sticking to the actual canvas. So it's set at 340 degrees and it also is set on a 30-second timer. So because the actual artwork is a little bigger, I have to do it in sections. And then, so once you do the 30 seconds on the full artwork, you want to turn the project over to the back side and also heat it for 15 seconds. Because this material, you should be removing the transfer while hot. I then just removed it and you can see the final results. Now you know my next project is going to say hello there. So the other day I went to Lowe's and I picked up all of these lovely plants. I'm going to be doing a couple arrangements for the patio, as well as putting some in the landscape and some of the flower beds. Okay, so it's actually two coral bells that I've had previously. I actually put them in a pot last year because I was rehabbing them. So I'm going to be dividing them and I'm going to be putting them inside of this flower bed, which is in the back of my yard. So I'm just going to be making 2 holes and then I'm going to pop them in the ground. I'm going to be putting a little plant tone fertilizer on them. And then I'm going to mulch the entire flower bed. So as I said previously, I'm going to be using brown mulch in the flower beds and pine straw along the sides. So leave me a comment down below. Do you use mulch, or what type of covering material will you be using in your yard this year? So we're just going to be painting up a couple of items that we're going to be using on the patio. One is that little ladder. I don't even know where I got it from. I've had it. It's been on my side patio for years now. So I have a choice of all of these paints here, and I decided that I'm going to do the dark walnut. So I'm just going to clean everything off, and then I'm going to go in and spray it down. And I'm doing about 2 to 3 coats, but they're light coats, and I'm waiting in between about 20 minutes for them to dry. Now, while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I headed back to the beds and I worked on this bed here. Now, what I did was I divided this lovely coral bell here on the right hand side. It was one large plant, so I just separated into 2. Does anyone else have the same problem that I do? You start on something and you just start working on everything all at once? Well, that's what I usually do. That's why it takes me so long to complete tasks. So now I'm moving on over to this flower bed, which is on the left hand side closer to my house. I popped in some Dusty Miller and a rose columbine, and I just put a layer of fresh mulch. Now, once I finished that, I looked over to my right hand planter and I realized that I needed to extend it because the grass always kills the ornamental grass always gets so large and kills this portion of the actual grass. So what I did was I just extended the bed and rounded it out about a foot larger, and then I just roughly put down the paver stones. It's not perfect. I'm not a stonemason. I'm just learning as I go and making the best of it. So I also wanted to move this daylily so that it has a little more space because it was really too close to the ornamental grass. And then I popped in a couple more of the Dusty Millers and I did a layer of mulch. Okay guys, I promise, strictly patio from now on. So I finished potting up the balance of the plants, and I'm just going to be arranging the pots in different areas on the patio. So if you are new or if you're returning and you have not introduced yourself yet, please leave me a comment down below. Just introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from. I really like to formally welcome you to my channel. So I love to layer my mats, but I didn't want to go with the basic buffalo check. So I just have this really cute beige two-tone underlay mat. And then I have this really cute blue mat that I got from Bed Bath & Beyond, just to give it a little color. And we're going to move on over to decorating the large table. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put on all of the pillows, tie them down, wipe off the top of the table, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to be leaving links in the description so that you can get more information on the Cricut machines, their materials. It'll have discounts. I also will link the affiliate program if you're looking to be an affiliate for Cricut, and just learning about what type of machine you might want, the materials, different projects that you can make. It's really a lot of fun, so I'll leave all of that linked in my description. Okay, so these are all the goodies that I'm going to be decorating with. Some of them I've made and some of them I've purchased. So here we go. This is my little serving station. I use it as a bar and also snacks and all sorts of random items. I just like to have everything out on the patio so that I don't have to run back and forth within the house when we're entertaining. So I'm just going to incorporate a little decorative and also functional items here on the bar cart. So guys, if you have not watched my previous DIY video where I made most of the decorative items that I'm using today on the patio. I will link it in the cards so that you can check it out, get some ideas of decorations that you can make for your home, for the patio, for indoors, for outdoors, for Mother's Day, weddings. It's very versatile DIY, so I hope you enjoy it. So here we are. This is the final reveal. I hope you guys enjoy. I know I really enjoyed decorating, cleaning, and now putting everything together and sharing with you. So leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed, what areas you like the best, and what your overall opinion is on my patio. Now make sure you wait to the end because I'm going to be showing images of how it's all lit up at night. We actually put in patio lighting last year, and because of the pandemic we haven't been able to share it with our friends and family, but hopefully this year we'll be able to put those patio lights into work. And I couldn't leave out my Daphne's Homescape Hello bag, which I will be wearing all over the place. Hello, welcome back. We're back on my patio because we're about to do a patriotic refresh. This will cover Memorial Day and also 4th of July and just give you a little inspiration. So let's get started. So we're getting started. As every other video, we're going to be cleaning. The pollen this year seems to have been so much more. I don't know if it's just in my area, if it's in your area as well, but everything out here is covered in green pollen. So I'm just going to have to give everything a nice little wipe down. I'm going to be using this awesome spray that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's my first time using it, but it worked really well. And I'm going to be using the hose to wash off as much pollen as possible. And we're going to be heading inside to do 3 quick DIYs that I'm going to be using. So I'm just starting out with a large reef form that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. And I'm using some burlap fabric that I got from Joann's Crafts. And I roughly cut the full length of the fabric, and it was about, I would say, 5 inches. And because it's the burlap, I folded it over and I doubled it, and I'm just winding it around the reef to give it a nice rustic look. And I'm adding glue at the beginning and the end of each strip. When I was at the Dollar Tree, I saw these fairy wings and I had to get them. I didn't know that I was going to be putting it on a reef, but I definitely wanted to work it into the decor. So I'm going to be adding the fairy reef and also a star that I cut from one of the banners that I also got from the Dollar Tree. I think that this is very simple but very cute. And our second DIY is a planter, And I'm just using one of the Dollar Tree metal planters, and I'm just giving it a quick coat of Adirondack white chalk paint. And I'm just going in lightly. I do want the metal to still see through, so I'm just doing a quick dry brush. And now I'm going to be using some of the floral foam that is also at the Dollar Tree. And I'm also using mums and carnations, and I'm also adding in white hydrangeas. Now the mums and the carnations are from the Dollar Tree, but the hydrangeas are from Joann's Crafts. Now my third DIY is just some wooden utensils. I'm just giving it a little festive color. So I'm just taping off randomly with masking tape, and I'm going to be using red, white, and blue paint on the end of each of the utensils just to give it a little color. You know, it just makes it a little special. I mean, instead of just having the regular wood utensils, you're adding in a little patriotic color. Okay, so we're back to the patio. This is everything that we're going to be decorating with. I have a bunch of things that are DIYs because I do like to work my DIYs into my decor. For myself, it just gives me inspiration to be able to find quick and easy ways to use Dollar Tree and inexpensive items and give it a nice, fresh accent to your decor. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to be putting on the chair cushions, the pillows. The blue pillows I actually made. I just did a non-sew application, and I just stuffed it with some leftover fabric that I had, and it adds a nice little touch. The blue fabric is actually the same fabric that I upholstered the other table with. So I'm so excited that I've been able to put this video together and share with everyone. So I hope that everyone has been enjoying it. And I hope that you share with any friends and family that might like this type of content as well. I know that I love watching marathons, so I hope that you're enjoying watching as well. Okay, so here's the final reveal, and we're starting at the gate opening. As everyone knows, I always love to work my DIYs into every decorating video that I have put out, just because I really enjoy all of the time and effort that it takes to be able to make DIYs. And I try not to overdo it, so I really hope that you guys enjoy. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'd like to remind you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, so please give it a thumbs up and please share with any friends and family that might like my content. Until the next time, have a blessed day.